Hello and welcome to another video from Midas Touch Toys, Games, Collectibles. And today we are looking at the 1992 release by Matchbox from their Gerry Stingray series of action figures and playsets. And this particular item we are looking at today is of one of the characters from Stingray, and that is Lieutenant Phones, who was the co-pilot of the Stingray Submarine, who used to sit next to Captain Troy Tempest in the television series. And this is that particular item. Now, Stingray was one of the television series that was created by Gerry and Sylvia Anderson, and it was all based on the World Aquanaut Security Patrol, which were basically they were responsible for policing the Earth's oceans, and their flagship was Stingray, which was a combat submarine, and like I say, it was manned by or crewed by Captain Troy Tempest, and Lieutenant Phones was his navigator, and also Marina, who was a mute young woman who lived under the sea, or come from under the sea, and she was basically a mermaid, but a tailless mermaid. And of course, the adventures under the ocean brought them in contact with various civilizations, some friendly, some not, and their biggest nemesis was the amphibians, and basically the evil King Titan who ruled. Okay, so anyway, I've digressed. Back to the figure. So this is the action figure from 1992, which was when Stingray returned to the television, primetime television, I should say, for the first time since the original airing in 1964. Obviously, in 1964, it was a very, very popular program. There was, I think, 39 episodes produced overall, and it aired, it was just one season, and it aired from October 64 to June 65, and they were 25-minute episodes. Anyway, so this is the figure, and it's at the top of the card. It says Matchbox, and it's item number SR255, and it says Stingray, and you've got the image of Stingray Submarine, and you've got the Terrorfish just below that, which was Titan's underwater vessel. And there you've got Lieutenant Phones on the right hand side, and it says stand by for action, and at the bottom it says Lieutenant Phones and ages 4 and up. Okay, that's the front of the card. Now, before we have a good look at the figure itself, let's turn him over and have a look at what's printed on the back. Okay, so I've turned the card around. This is what we've got on the back. So again, it says Matchbox Stingray. It says Lieutenant Phones. Lieutenant George Lee Sheridan Phones is co-pilot of the Stingray submarine. When Troy was serving in the submarine service, Phones was on hand to save Troy's life. Since then, they have become inseparable friends. Born in South Carolina, he is fascinated by radio and his key responsibility as the hydrophone operator. In the year 2065, the World Aquanault Security Patrol, W.A.S.P, operates to ensure world security, operating from the Marineville base. The Stingray team, under Commander Sam Shaw, comes under constant attack from underwater world of Aquaphibians and Titan. It says the incredible world of Stingray. Collect the entire range of Stingray. It says specifications and colour of content may subject to amendments. And there you can see items that are available. So you've got the Marineville playset, figures, and you've got the Terrorfish and the mini submarines. They were actually die cast, those little ones. It says Matchbox Toys Limited, Swift Park, Old Leicester, and below that you've got all the copyright, licensing information, the warning information, barcodes, and the logos and the CE prints and so on. And it's assortment number SR250, and Phones is SR255. And it's got 1992 ITC Entertainment Group Limited, licensed by Copyright Promotions Limited. And it's 1993, Tyco Toys Inc. So maybe it's 93 these came out, not 92. I think they might have been produced in 92, but there's 1993 printed on the back of the card. So it must be a 93 release. Okay, that's the back of the card. Let's turn it back round to the front and let's have a good look at the figure itself. Okay, so I've zoomed right in on the figure, and there you can see Phones, and I've got to say it's a pretty good likeness to the puppet of Phones who appeared in the television series. The facial features are all right. Obviously the uniform's spot on, and then he's got his headphones, his radio headphones there on just the left hand side there. He's in his white boots, and he's got his pistol attached to the side of his leg, and there's his belt there, and he's got his cap on, his W.A.S.P cap at the top. Very, very similar to Troy Tempest. So if you didn't really know their facial features, you could very easily confuse the two without the headphones, of course. But yeah, very good likeness to character. And these figures were, well, we're talking 92, so we're talking 32 years ago when they were released. Obviously technology has moved on quite a lot since then, but back then, I mean, these are very good for the time. Now, unfortunately, this packet is sealed, and I don't have one open to show the articulation. However, I do have my trusty, faithful Troy Tempest figure to hand, and we're going to get some measurements off of him because he's exactly the same size, and that is just under 10 centimeters tall. Width-wise, we are looking at just under 4 centimeters, and depth-wise, if you measure from his hand to his back, we're looking at about 2.5 centimeters. That gives you an idea of the size. You can see the hands are in exactly the same positions, the same shape. The uniform's the same, the belt's the same, the legs the same, the boots the same. They're all of that section is exactly the same. It's only the face that is different between the two. So you can see the differences of Troy Tempest in my hand here and Phones on the card there. So that's, other than the face, the rest of the features, the rest of the figure are absolutely identical. Okay, so articulation. Head moves side to side, arms move up and down. There is no other movement of the arms, but they are quite soft. So, because Troy Tempest, he came with a blaster, and Phones comes with his earphones. So I'm assuming the earphones, well, they go over his head, over his cap and onto his head. There's no movement of the waist. Now that surprises me. I thought they turned, but that doesn't turn. And the legs do go up and down, but there's no knee movement or anything like that. So the articulation is very basic. So you've just got 2, 4, 5 points of articulation. That's all you've got on these figures. So it's very, very basic. But then we were talking 32 years ago, and the articulation was a lot more basic on the smaller figures then compared to now. Obviously, technology is so much more advanced than what it was in 1992. Okay, how well did these figures do? Well, Matchbox again, Stingray, very popular. The whole lines were popular, and it served to a whole new audience because Stingray TV series, the original TV series, came back onto prime time television in 92. It opened up to our children's age, if you like, because it was from when we were children, but then in 92 it was our children's television show. So it got very, very popular again, and a lot of merchandise was produced. Matchbox produced most of it. I think they produced all of it. So there was all the sets that we saw on the back of the card, and obviously all the characters as well, all the action figures as well. So but again, because it was only one season of Stingray that was produced, even though it's 39 episodes, it was re-aired on primetime television until the series had been all shown, and then it went off air again. It did come back briefly again in the early 2000s on BBC Two, but the primetime slot then had really gone. So yeah, it was a shame that really, but because there was only a limited amount of episodes to show, they showed them all, and then it was back off air again. So the toy series, which come on with a boom, suddenly ended very suddenly because that's it. It was off air. So that's it. Toy line finished. On to the next popular television show, which is basically how they work. Now, as a result, obviously, with what we're talking 32 years on now, these figures are becoming quite difficult to find, especially in this mint unopened condition, as the Lieutenant Phones is here. Do they come up on the platforms? Yeah, they do still pop up from on the platforms from time to time. You see a lot of figures, loose figures, come up on the platforms, incidentally. You don't see so many mint on card figures anymore. You used to see quite a lot, but they don't appear to be as frequent as they used to be. But they do still pop up from time to time. But again, like I say, if you're buying on a platform, be extra careful and make sure you look at the images of the used item if you're buying used, because the images that are shown on some of the platforms may not be the actual item you're buying. So do have a good look. Or alternatively, we at Midas Touch have managed to find quite a few of these figures, and they were from a shop find again. We bought out a load of shop stock which shut down during the COVID, or just after COVID, and there was a whole case of these figures that were still in the box in their stockroom. And we're fortunate enough to liberate those figures, and they are all currently available to purchase on the Midas Touch website, which you can get to quite simply by clicking the link below. It will take you straight to the website. We'll be able to find this figure and many other vintage Gerry Anderson items, and many other vintage toys, games and collectibles come to that. There's over 10,000 products currently available on the website for you to view and purchase at your leisure. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button, because we're uploading videos for every new item that goes into the website. There will be something for everybody, and I'm absolutely positive that this is something that you will not want to miss. Because we literally have thousands and thousands of new products, which we're shooting videos for and uploading on a daily basis. So if there's something in particular you're looking for, something old that you've never been able to find, something quirky that you might want to buy for a friend, or maybe just something from your childhood that you'd like to own again to help you recuperate those long lost childhood memories, well, stay tuned, keep watching, because you never know, the next item we upload could be that item you've been looking for. Okay, that is it for me on the review of this particular item. I do hope you've enjoyed reviewing this little action figure with me. Thank you for watching, and we will see you again next video. So bye for now.